Good evening, guys. This is Parnika. So today in this session, we're going to see about the approaches that you need to have while solving the questions of Hexaware pattern. And before I jump into the main topic, I wish and I guess everyone watching this video are doing completely fine. You're all doing great in this pandemic and you're not wasting your time during this pandemic. And I would emphasize you to take this as a golden opportunity to rebuild, to regenerate the skills you possess, and to maximize the potentials you have. So today, we're going to see the specific pattern that is getting followed by Hexaware. So Hexaware is a very famous software company. I guess everyone would have a great knowledge about it. And they provide placements to students belonging to the CSE IT and ECEEE sector. So today we're going to say how if Hexaware is your dream company, then we assure you with all these trainings and all these videos, you can, of course, secure a place in the Hexaware placement. The main agenda of today, why are we here today? Why you guys are watching this video today is to discuss about the pattern that they've been following all the years, the approach and the methods of solving the problems. And of course, we'll be solving very few number of problems today within the constricted time. Another thing, for a few minutes, let's just jump off from the topic. I know even though I'm not able to see a lot of you, even though I'm not able to recognize your faces or anything, I'm able to perceive the thoughts that are running in your mind. Weekdays evening, 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock, you might wish to spend time with your family. You might wish to spend time on your phone, browsing the internet, watching TV, or of course sleeping, eating some good food. But you have choose to see our webinar to get benefited and get placed in a company. So hats off to that efforts that you are putting, and continue to watch the sessions, the webinar sessions, explore a lot of technical skills within you. That is very important during the lockdown period. Again, they have emphasized the great lockdown during this pandemic until June 30th. So all these time is a great skill for you, a great time for you to regenerate the skills, to learn a lot of technical skills, to learn and prepare for the placements that are approaching. Because also saying this, I would also like to say the placement process won't be the same here afterwards, because physical face-to-face interviews will get lessened because of the current situation. But the pattern they follow, but the pattern the company follows, all those things will not be changed to a great extent. Of course, companies will still continue to test you upon your technical skills, upon your quantitative ability. So preparing and enhancing the skill sets that you possess is very, very important. So that's what we're going to see today. All right, the pattern, the most important thing while you're preparing for any company. Every company follows a distinct pattern for itself. For example, say TCS has a different pattern. They have an acute examination. Infosys has a different pattern. When they come to campus or when they go through Anna University placements, both differ. They have separate patterns. Be it for any company, they have a separate pattern. So knowing the pattern that a company follows will greatly help us to, we know the idea behind the test already. We know what sort of questions will be tested already, so that we will get prepared to a greater extent. So now we're going to see about the Hexaware pattern and the pattern that has been followed by the company for many years. So the first section would be your quantitative aptitude section, where you will be asked 20 questions to be solved in 20 questions. Similar thing, in a similar way, you'll be asked in the second question about verbal ability. There also the same pattern follows. You have 20 questions to be solved in 20 minutes. Again, logical reasoning will be your third section. There, again, 20 questions to be solved in 20 minutes. So the fourth technical ability section, there is a wavering pattern that is followed when it comes to the technical ability sections. You might get 40 questions to be solved in 40 minutes or 30 questions to be solved in 30 minutes. So rounding off, it would mostly be 30 questions to be solved in 30 minutes so that they can follow a pattern where 90 questions will be solved in 1.5 hours. So when it comes to quantitative ability, the first section I would regard as the most trickiest and a little bit tougher than all the other sections. Leave out technical section. That's a different area that will come after some time. So when it comes to quantitative aptitude, you have to solve 20 questions in 20 minutes. That isn't a very easy job. 1 minute for one question. Of course, all the questions in Hexaware pattern has to be solved in the agenda, like 1 minute for one question. So in a similar way, you can of course solve verbal ability questions. 1 minute for one question would be more than enough. You're going to read the question, you're going to analyze it in the mind, and you're going to answer. So it wouldn't be a problem when it comes to verbal ability. And of course, logical reasoning would also be easy to solve, the same pattern. So you wouldn't face much of a difficulty. But quantitative ability is more of mathematical logics that you have to apply, your presence of mind, the time management skills you possess. Your personal traits too matter a lot when it comes to solving quantitative ability questions. So be very careful when you're solving those kind of questions. All right, so we have a total of 90 questions to be solved in 1.5 hours. This is the exact pattern that Hexaware is following. All right, so we're going to see the syllabus of each and every topic. Number one, the first section, quantitative ability. So I've enlisted all the topics on quantitative ability. I guess the quadratic equation section is not visible to you. The last one there is quadratic equations. So we have variety of topics that has to be covered to approach the quantitative aptitude section of Hexa. This quantitative aptitude syllabus does not only restrict to Hexaware company, but also to any other company who's approaching the college for placement. This would be the general syllabus. I've actually cut down a few topics because a few topics fit into this topic itself. So number one, problems on numbers. Problems on numbers will have, we have questions about simplification, LCM and HCF, all those topics gets fitted into problems on numbers. All right, so next, profit and loss, of course, a very important topic where you'll have discounts, mark the price. Some sites would have given those topics as a separate topic. Excuse me. Hello. Audio was it? Okay. I'm sorry that I took a leave. All right, I hope you guys are able to hear my voice well. Is it clear now? Okay, so as I was saying, profit and loss is an important topic, and the subtopics of profit and loss are discount price, marked price, all those things do come under profit and loss itself. Next, we have mensuration. Mensuration, these days, mensuration topic is being paid a lot of attention by many companies. So it is important that you regenerate your skills on solving mensuration questions. So it's all about shapes knowledge. We would have learned mensuration from our 6th standard. So let's buck up on those skills too. Next, averages. It's of course an important topic. Next comes the upcoming topics are the most important where you have to pay the great attention upon. Time and work, time, speed, distance, simple interest, compound interest. These 3 topics, I swear, no company's paper would be without these 3 topics. All the company's paper, all the company's placement paper, the online test will have at least 1 to 2 questions from these 3 sections. It will be there because it is something related to life mathematics too. So I can assure you that these questions from these topics will definitely be there in your question paper. So it is important that we pay utmost attention to all these 3 topics. All right. So when it comes to time, speed, and distance, time, speed, and distance is actually a very vast topics which have n number of subtopics. But it just has one beautiful formula with which you have to approach the time, speed, and distance topic. It's just speed is equal to distance by time. Knowing that one single problem, you can actually solve the entire whatever question, whatever type of questions that are asked from time, speed, and distance. You can just solve it if you know the depth concept of time, speed, and distance formula. That is, speed is equal to distance by time. All right. Again, simple interest and compound interest. Don't think that simple interest and compound interest will be asked only in banking exams. It's a wrong approach. I've seen most of the students. Most of the students skip simple interest and compound interest, thinking that it is a very boring topic. There's nothing like that. Just a minute. I have. All right. I just have a question. You guys are able to hear me, right? If you aren't able to hear the audio properly, please do drop a message. Please do drop a comment saying that you're not able to hear me well. I guess it's okay now. Next, as I was saying, simple interest and compound interest don't regard it as it is one of the most important and interesting topics. Playing with numbers. If you are a person who loves to play with numbers, then simple interest or compound interest will be your favorite topic. So do not skip any topics in this slide. You don't have to note, you don't have to screenshot the slide, or you don't have to note. This is all basic topics that you have to have a great knowledge upon. The next section is quadratic equations. Quadratic equations, functions, logarithms are also very, very important topics. Though companies wouldn't show much emphasis on these topics are also very, very important. So the basic idea of quantitative aptitude is this. So the major syllabus that you have to cover when it comes to quantitative aptitude is all these topics. I hope you guys are clear. So moving on to the next section, verbal ability. There is a misconception that verbal ability, anyone can solve verbal ability problems. Of course, anyone can solve verbal ability problems, but the misconception is that it is regarded as one of the most easiest topics when it comes to placement. But for your kind information, it is not so. Of course, it is very easy. All the topics are very easy if you have a great knowledge upon the topic, but verbal ability is also one of the most trickiest ones where in the MCQ you might see normally when it comes to quants you will be able to eliminate two options, whereas in verbal ability almost three options will be very similar, and there are chances that verbal ability will also eat up your time when you're solving your placement papers. So it is very important that you have a great knowledge on English and the verbal ability skills you possess. Of course, we are there for that. We will shape your verbal ability skills and all the skills that has to be done when before you approach any placement. Right. So we'll quickly see the syllabus of verbal ability. So when it comes to verbal ability, the type of questions that can be asked from verbal ability is a lot. Right, most of them will be from tenses, subject verb agreement, subject predicate, and all those topics. So if you're very strong with your foundation, you can very easily solve the questions in verbal ability. So the different type of questions that can be asked in verbal ability, this is not a syllabus. This is more of a blueprint or the type of questions that would be asked in verbal ability. Right, so the first type is fill in the blanks. So you'll be given a sentence and you'll be given four options from which you have to pick the most appropriate word or sentence that will fit into the blank. That is fill in the blank. Spotting the errors, the very, very famous topic. And I was talking about verbal ability being very tricky, right? Just a minute. Yes, sir. Come on, பண்ணியாச்சு சார். ஓகே சார். ஒரே ஒரு நிமிஷம் சார். போன வாட்டி பண்ண மாதிரியே தான் அதே இயர்ஃபோன்ஸ் தான் அதே இடம் தான். எனக்கு தெரியலையே. ஒரே ஒரு நிமிஷம் சார், நான் பார்க்குறேன். Guys, are you able to hear me? Is it okay? Is it clear now? Hello, sir? It's okay, sir. Hello? Guys, are you able to hear me? Because I've been constantly receiving messages like you're not able to hear my audio. Hello, sir? Guys, I'm very sorry for the audio issue. I don't know what happened actually. So I guess you're able to hear my voice now. Just a minute. Give me just a minute. I hope you are able to hear my voice clearly from now. I'm very sorry for the inconvenience caused. So a lot of you have been saying you have not been able to hear my voice. I'm very sorry for that. I don't know what happened with the audio issues. It's just the bandwidth and the internet problem that is prevailing all over. All right. So the third section. Sorry, we've been saying the verbal ability section, right? Yes. So we saw about the fill in the blank. So next, spotting the errors. It is also a very important topic. I've been saying subject verb agreement and all those topics. Actually, spotting the errors topic is a very vast topic that you have to cover while um, doing your verbal ability section. So since it is a very vast topic, I would like to emphasize you guys to read a lot of English books, because without getting exposed to a practical English knowledge, you wouldn't be able to tackle the verbal ability section very well. So the next one, sentence completion. It is also similar to the fill in the blank section, where you have to complete the sentence with the most appropriate word or sentence that is given in the MCQ. Prepositions, passage completion, again, error correction, sentence arrangement. Sentence arrangement is again a very important topic that has been followed by many placements, many placement papers in many companies, where you would be given a set of 4 or 5 sentences and you'd be asked to rearrange the sentence in a chronological order. So even that, you have to have a sense of logical thinking mind to sequence the given sentences into a proper section. All right, next, the most important, synonyms and antonyms. Synonyms and antonyms, approaching synonyms and antonyms should be done in a very different way. Only if you read a lot of words, get exposed to a lot of words, you'll be able to solve synonym and antonym section. Because when it comes to synonyms and antonyms, you need not know the exact answer of the synonyms and antonyms question. You might not know the exact meaning, but of course you can guess the meanings from the options that are given. So that's one great approach about synonyms and antonyms. Substitutions. You'll be given a sentence and you'll be asked to substitute the given sentence for a given word. So that is about substitutions. And again, joining sentences, you have to have a great knowledge on subject and predicate to solve joining sentences. So about logical reasoning. Logical reasoning is also one of the most trickiest part. And so don't take it other way. Why is this person saying all the topics as the most trickiest topic? Of course, when it comes to placements, all the topics are trickier to get solved. So approach each topic with utmost care. That is what I would say to all of you. So in logical reasoning, we have fill in the blanks again. Blood relations is a topic where a man pointed towards a girl and said so and so. How was the man related with that girl? So everyone would know this kind of questions. That is blood relation. You just have to know the approach that you have to follow while solving all these questions. Data sufficiency. You'd be given a data and you'd be asked questions on the given data. Analogy, direction sense test. So if a person is facing towards north, which side will the shadow of the person be casted? Those are a direction sense test. You just need to know the basic ideology behind the basic formulas or basic tips and tricks that has to be kept in mind while solving all these problems. Sentence completion is again here also. Syllogism, coding and decoding. Coding and decoding is where you'll be given a set of numbers, number and number decoding, number and letters decoding, letter decoding are, it is a very famous and a very frequently asked topic that is tested in the placement area. Venn diagrams, word sequence, and matching pairs. I'm not explaining all the topics. I guess most of you all know the meaning and the questions that will be asked in each topic. We're just emphasizing you the syllabus that would be tested for you in the examination. Matching patterns, where you'd be given a pattern and you'd be asked to identify the next pattern that would appear. All right, so this is logical reasoning. So the next section is technical questions. Technical questions is majorly upon what you have studied over the 4 years, over the 3 years or 3.5 years, whenever you're going to attend the placements. So your technical skills are given major part when it comes to Hexaware examination. They emphasize you to know a lot in your technical area. Because 20 questions in each section and 30 questions in technical section alone. See the weightage that they have given in technical questions section. So you have to pay utmost importance when it comes to technical questions. You should know the topics that you have already studied. So anyways, you have studied for 3.5 years in your college. So you require to brush up on all those topics, and that itself is quite sufficient when it comes to technical section. So technical section doesn't have a great syllabus. Like, it is very vast. They will ask questions anywhere from your topic. Domain specific questions for CSC, IT, and ECE because ECE cannot be tested more on JavaScript or Java. You can be tested on C or C++, maybe on the basic languages. So since since the Hexaware emphasizes on two different departments, they have different approach and different questions for CSE and IT. So just brush up through your topics, study all your topics very well so that you will be able to tackle these questions with huge efforts. And so the approach, how you should approach. So as I said, all the questions throughout, you have 90 questions to be solved in 90 minutes and 1 minute for each question. It is not a very simple job. You have to be really fast. You have to know how to manage time and how to tackle the problems in the given amount of time. That is very important when it comes to the approach. So when it is quants, do not go by the conventional method. If you only know the conventional and the ordinary method of solving the problems, then I swear you are in a great trouble. You would take 2 to 3 minutes in solving a single question itself, because you have to solve 20 questions in 20 minutes. That is not a very easy task. So only if we know the correct approach to be followed when it comes to answering question, the correct approach, the shortcut method, the tips and tricks we have to follow while answering the question, we would be able to excel in the test. So that is very important. Again, when it comes to verbal section, you have to read a lot of books, get exposed to a lot of English passages, get exposed to a lot of English conversations, so that answering verbal questions would be very, very easy. So one good thing about Hexaware placement paper is that you don't get any negative markings. So in case you answer the question right, you're awarded 1 mark, and if in case your answer is wrong, you're not given any mark. So sometimes it is also to be noted that Hexaware follows CoCube's pattern where adaptive testing is followed. Adaptive pattern is followed where you answer a single question correctly. The difficulty level of the next question gets enhanced. It goes to the next level. So in that case, you have to be very careful when answering the question. So in case you get only easy questions throughout, I know, I guess you know what it means. You've been answering many questions wrongly, and that's why you are getting very easy questions on your screen. So the approach that you have to follow when it comes to each and every section matters really, really a lot. So this lockdown period is very, very important to you. Spend it very usefully. Of course, the placements are getting delayed. Delaying is an opportunity for every one of you. That is what I would like to say to everyone. Because in this delay, you get a day long time to prepare and rebuild the skills you've been possessing. Even if you start from now, if you're a person who haven't started quants or verbal or any section till date, you know only some technical stuffs, you are able to answer only some technical stuffs, and you have literally zero idea on the other first three sections, you can still you can still clear displacements very, very easily. That's one thing I can assure you, provided you put in the efforts that are required. Study, work hard, work very smartly, know how you should approach each and every topic. So you have a day long time. I'm not telling you to study the whole day preparing for quants or verbal. It's just that you have to dedicate at least 2 to 3 hours of time for preparing for your placements. Just imagine getting placed in your dream company is important than anything else in the world. And I guess that's why you guys have prioritized all your other things and are attending this webinar session. So quickly, let's solve some easy peasy problems in this session. So I wouldn't be testing upon very tough problems. It's just easy problems. Easy problems in the sense these problems you would have got exposed in your school time itself. So we'll be solving problems of those kinds. All right. The question statement says, a bag contains 4 white, 5 red, and 6 blue balls. 3 balls are drawn at a random from the bag. The probability that all of them are red is. Why I chose to say about this problem is because if you can see, if you can relate with the problem, two different topics are combined together. The question has probability topic also in it, and it also contains permutations and combinations topic in it. So companies would prefer these kind of problems where two or more topics get collaborated in a single topic itself. So it allows them to uh, test you in a wide area. So that they would be able to cover all the topics in the 20 questions that they desire to. So when it comes to Hexaware, I haven't seen any paper, any placement paper of Hexaware in which questions from the same topic get repeated. They test you from almost all the topics. These kind of combined topics approach is used very widely by Hexaware. So preparing for this, you would be greatly able to prepare for other company placements also and solve other companies' placement papers very easily. So when it comes to this problem, you just have to need to know the basic concept of permutation, combination, and probability. So when it comes to permutation and combination, 3 balls are drawn at a random from the bag. That is given. So three balls are drawn, and they're asking what is the probability that all the three are red. All right, it's a very simple problem. You just have the condition is 5C3. So from the 5 red balls, all of them that are drawn from the bag should be 3. So the solution goes this way. Of course, this is a combination of permutations and combination topic and probability. So what is P? What is the probability? Probability's formula is number of events divided by the sample space. Here, what is the number of events? The number of events is, yeah, the number of events is NC3 because N here is the number of red balls. So when it comes to the number of events is nothing but NC 5C3. That is, from the 5 red balls that are given, we have to pick 3 red balls. So the number of events here is 5C3 divided by the sample space. Sample space is nothing, the total probability that is possible. So it's not the probability. So the sample space goes like this. So 15, how many, there are total of 15 balls that are here, and from which we have to draw 3 balls. So the total sample space is 15C3. So we're going to divide the number of events and the sample space, and we get the result as follows. 5C3 is nothing but 10, and the sample space is 455. And when you simplify, the answer is 2 by 91. You have to, while solving this problem, you have to know that you will have to apply the basic concept of permutation and combination and collaborate it in the probabilities formula. That's very important. You have to have the skill and the knowledge to first understand what is asked in the question and then answer the question. That's one main approach that you have to follow while answering the question. All right, so the next question. I picked this from time, speed, and distance. As I said, it is one of the very, very important topic. It is one of the very, well, what to say, it is one of the most tested topics in the interview placement papers. So, yes. Rajdhani Express reduced its speed from 210 km per hour to 150 km per hour due to mechanical issues. And hence, it reached the central station 200 minutes late. What is the total distance covered in this journey? So when you see this problem, there is no relationship between anything. It is given that the speed is reduced and it reaches 200 minutes late, and they're asking what is the total distance covered in the journey. All right, it's not an irrelevant question. It's a very, very easy question if you know the tricks and tips when it comes to time, speed, and distance. As I said, the approach is very important. If you approach the questions with a conventional and an ordinary method, this question requires at least 3 or 4 minutes to be solved. For example, you take the conventional method is that the total distance covered in the journey will be taken as X and the problem will get proceeded. That is not how you approach a problem in a position where you are given only 1 minute to solve one question. That is definitely not the approach that you have to follow. So I'll tell you how to tackle these kind of problems. So the solution goes this way. We know that from the formula, speed is equal to distance by time. So this formula emphasizes that speed is directly proportional to distance and it is indirectly proportional to time. So the speed here, the original speed by the reduced speed is 210 divided by 150. The original speed, the ratio of the original speed to the reduced speed is 7 is to 5. All right, so if the speed ratio is 7 is to 5, then the time ratio is inversely proportional, hence it will interchange. 5 is to 7 will be the time ratio. So just subtract. So we are able to see that the difference, the 2-part difference in time corresponds to the 200 minutes delay. All right, so 1 part will be 100 minutes. Hence, the usual time taken by Rajdhani Express to reach its destination will be 5 into 100. This will be the usual time. First, you have to find one part, so that you can multiply it with the original time. So we got the original time in which Rajdhani Express reaches its journey. So we have to convert it into hours, since this is in minutes and the answer is in kilometer. We have to convert it into hours. So after converting, get 50 by 6 hours. So again, from the question we see that the speed, the original speed is 210 kilometer per hour. All right, so by the formula, speed is equal to distance by time, and hence distance is equal to speed into time. By applying what we got in this formula, we get the answer as 1750 kilometers. So do not go with the conventional method of solving problems. So again, we have used a basic concept of ratio and proportion here. Not a great deal. It's just a very basic thing of ratio and proportion that you have to use here. The two parts, finding that the two parts, relating that the two parts is equal to 200 minutes is the major, is the most important, the key step to arrive at the answer. All right, so also pay attention to this. You will be given the units, you will be given in the question as meter per second, and you wouldn't be asked to convert, but the answer would be in kilometer per hour. Immediately, obviously, you have to convert meter per second into kilometer per hour. Do not make such silly mistakes. It might cost big later. I'm not fearing you, I'm not scaring you, but this is something which generally happens. uh, Multiple choice questions aren't a joke. They are really very tricky, and you have to have a very organized mind to solve the questions. Yes. Next is a similar question. This is a time and work question, but we solved this question using the same ratio proportion approach that we applied in the previous problem. So it is given Doraemon is thrice as good workman as Nobita. Right, I guess most of you all know who Nobita and Doraemon is. Most of us all watch a lot of cartoon these days instead of movies and series. There are people I've been saying who still watch Jackie Chan and a lot of cartoon channels. So I thought maybe my favorite is Doraemon, so I would give the question with this. So Doraemon is thrice as good as a workman as Nobita. So the efficiency of Doraemon is thrice as good as Nobita, and therefore able to finish a job in 48 days less than Nobita. So Doraemon is able to complete the days in 48 days less than Nobita, working together. So working together, how long will it take for them to complete the work? This is the question. So by the conventional method, let the number of days taken by Nobita be X, taken by Nobita is Y. First of all, let's just get rid of this X and Y conventions. These problems can be solved without even giving any algebraic expressions or algebraic variables like A, B, X, or Y, of course. All right. So the solution goes this way. So as I said, the efficiency of Doraemon and Nobita will be in the ratio 3 is to 1. So the time in which they complete will be 1 is to 3. The similar approach that you had in the previous problem. So the difference is two parts, and this two parts corresponds to the 48 days. Again, this is the most important step that you have to follow. That the two part step, the number of parts is a very important step when it comes to these kind of problems. So when two parts correspond to 48 days, one part will correspond to 24 days. So Doraemon can do the work in 24 days and Nobita can do the work in 72 days. By following a three-step approach, I would say, of course, if you watch our videos, which are posted in our ShortClaps application, you'll be knowing what a three-step approach is. It's a very, very easy and an efficient approach to solve questions from time and work. So following that approach, where take the LCM of 24 and 72, and you can just complete the problems within seconds. So if we apply the method, we get the time taken by them would be 18 days if they work together. So again, we have an application called ShortClaps. Do download the application. We are working on it. We already have numerous tests that you can take from each and every single topic type. For example, when it comes to time and work, this is one topic. This is one type of question that can be asked in your examination. So we have enlisted all the types, all the possible types that can be asked in each topic, and we have given questions on each topic so that you can shape your skills on every type of question that will be asked from every topic. For example, I was saying that time, speed, and distance have numerous subtopics in it. You have upstream and downstream topic, you have races and games, you have problems on train. All these topics come under time, speed, and distance. And the approach in which you have to solve time, speed, and distance differs. Though the formula is one thing, though the formula is speed is equal to different distance by time, the approach that you have to follow while answering the questions is different. So we have given separate video explanations for each and every single topic. So do download our ShortClaps application. It's free and you can download it from the Play Store itself. So all right. If you cannot download the application, you have the videos getting posted in our YouTube channel, ShortClaps. You can view the videos in our YouTube channel itself. All the videos are there too. So yes, next question. All right, this is one very easy questions where students tend to break their head most of the time. Jeff Bezos increased the salary of his employees by 30% and decreased it again by 30% due to COVID-19 lockdown. It just happens. A lot of layoffs is going on in this time period. So increase is also 30% and decrease is also 30%. How will this affect their salary? So the approach that you have to use while solving this kind of problems is that the basic thing that you have to know is when there is an increase and decrease, all right, when there is an increase and decrease by the same amount, the salary will definitely be a decrease. It will not increase. When there is an increase in the same percentage and the decrease is also the same percentage, the salary will definitely decrease. Right? The conventional method is that let the salary of the employee be X, or let the salary of the employee be 100, and then it is increased to 30%. So it will be 130. And then again, dividing it by 130 by 100, 100 by 130, a lot of divisions, a lot of calculations, and you have to have a great mathematical mind and a very stable mind if you follow the conventional method. Instead, if you go with the tips and tricks that we emphasize you know, you don't even take the pen and paper in your hand. You don't even have to take the pen and paper in your hand, and you can say the answer just by following the question. It is a very simple trick that has to be approached when it comes to this kind of problem. Decrease percentage, as I said, when the salary goes up by a certain percentage and gets decreased by the same percentage, the salary will definitely decrease. So the decrease percentage for a common percentage, for a common 30 and 30, increase by 30, decrease by 30. For a common percentage, the formula is divide the common percentage by 10 raised to the power 2. So here 30 by 10 to the power 2, which is simply 9. 30 by 10 is 3, 3 to the power 2 is 9. So the decrease is 9%. Very simple. So just, I'm sorry. All right, without, just see the approach in which you look at the problem. When you were not given the solution, when before I taught you the actual method in which your sum has to be approached, what were you doing? You would have bought a variable like X or Y, kept your initial salary as 100, moved on with very tedious calculations, but with the proper tips and tricks, you can solve the questions even without pen and paper. The same follows for this question also. Before you would again emphasize on introducing a new variable for the distance covered, which is X. But now it's just, you just have to look at the problem. Oh, 210 divided by 150 is 7 is to 5. And then the time ratio will be 5 is to 7. And the difference would be two parts. This two parts is 100. And I have to convert the minutes into time, and you complete the problem within a few seconds without even the use of any paper. The approach is as easy. You don't even have to get a pen and paper in your hand. Just by seeing the question, you can yield the answer if you follow a few tips and tricks. So yes, that's a very constricted topic on quantitative aptitude, since we don't have much of the time. Next, we'll move on to verbal ability. So within the given time, I was able to expose you to the type of problems that can be asked in Hexaware questions. Of course, the questions and the topics, the areas you have to prepare is humongous. You have to put in a lot of efforts. These are just a few type of problems that can be asked in the Hexaware questions, and the easy approach. We just showed you the easy approach, the proper approach that you have to give when it comes to solving quantitative aptitude questions. So next, we get exposed a little bit to the verbal ability section 2. All right. If I take a state roadways bus, I will get late. All right. When it comes to verbal ability questions, so fit in all the options. This is just a very easy question. So you can fit in each option into the question and read out the sentence once again to see whether the option that you have fits it the best or not. So if you fit, is it not? Okay, is it not? Won't I? Will I? Is it? So from the options, we can see if I take a state roadways bus, I will get late. Is it not? You are talking about you. From the first person, you are talking about yourself. So is it not? Wouldn't be a proper option that will get fit in, or is it also will not be a proper option that will fit in. So immediately after seeing the question, you can eliminate option A and option B, because the question is in first person, so you cannot write anything as is it not or is it. So won't I and will I, between these two options, the correct option that you have to choose is won't I. So that would be the right answer. If I take the state roadways bus, I will get late, won't I? That is, will I will not fit greatly into the sentence. So won't I would be the most appropriate word that will fit in. That was a very, very easy question. So most of the time you won't get such an easy question in any of your placement papers. Just to get exposed to a sentence completion topic, I just enforce that question here. So let's see this question. All right, so the underlined sentence has error in it, and we have to remodify the sentence and pick the right sentence. But each of the students were sick last week, so the professor cancelled the lecture. While approaching these kind of problems, we have a very tricky option called the D option would be most of the time no modifications or no error, no correction. So when we see this sentence appears to be a correct sentence. It appears like there is no mistake in the sentence, but there is. As I said, only if you study a lot of questions, only if you practice a lot of verbal ability questions, get exposed to newspaper, get exposed to a lot of English conversations, you will be able to identify the mistakes that are given in the sentence. So here, the correct sentence, I do not want to elaborate it very highly because it is already time, I guess. So I would quickly finish on the topic. Each of the students, each is singular. So the following, each of the students, so every student, each and single student is already given. Each is a singular word, as we all know. So the preceding tense, the preceding verb will also be a singular verb. So from this question, we can see that the only option which has a singular verb in it is was. Each of the student was sick last week, so the professor cancelled the lecture. That's how it goes. Without even reading all the other options, you can simply pick the right questions. See, look at the options, how confusing they are. Each of the students were sick last week. Each of the students was sick last week. Each of the students have been sick last week. Each of the students were sick last week again. So the options seem to be very confusing when it comes to verbal ability. But if we have a very sound knowledge on the verbal ability topics, we'd be able to solve the questions with so much ease. So without even looking at any other option, with just this rule, if each comes, the following 10 will also be a singular verb. So I can solve my question and I can take the option as B. It doesn't need a great time. So you can solve the question within 15 to 20 seconds. That is what we emphasize on. So when it comes to competitive exams, when it comes to time-based exams, how much of importance you give to time is very, very important. So make sure that you do not spend your whole day in working out a certain question. Even if you're not able to get the answer for a certain question, leave out, move to the next question, If it is an adaptive question, just it's okay if that one question you are marking it wrong, doesn't matter much, but do not give your entire time to one particular question itself. That's one emphasis that we would do from our side. So yes, each of the students was sick last week, so the professor canceled the lecture. So as I said, the same explanation I've just given it in the presentation. All right, this is arrangement of sentence. Again, this is a very, very important section when it comes to solving verbal ability question, because the company wants to test you on your logical mind, on your logical sequencing mind, how well you're able to sequence the given passages. So read the passage, drop your answers in the comment section. Let me see how many of you drop the right answer in the comment section. If you drop the comment section, our technical team would give you a thumbs up in the comment section. I assure you that. Ants eat worms, centipedes, and spiders. And the first, and you have to remember that the first and the last sentence are already in sequence. The first sentence corresponds to the first sentence, and the last sentence corresponds to the last sentence. So you have to arrange only the 4 sentences that are given in the middle. So if you are able to solve this question within 30 seconds, that would be great. Let me see how many of you are able to approach. Done. Have you dropped your comments? Have you dropped your answers in the comment section? I hope you would have. I have a comment where some Gokul Rajendran has asked to explain the last step. Last step of which question? Can you please drop another comment so that I'd be able to teach you the step again? If you have any doubts in the previous section also, please let me know. All right, so I haven't got any comments. So it is, this type of question is only about the logical sequencing brains that you have. So the answer for this question is SRQP. So let's just read out the sentences in the order that have been given. SRQP. Ants eat worms, centipedes, and spiders. They also eat larvae, uh, insect adults such as flies, moths, and springtails. Nevertheless, these animals do not make easy game for ants. Yeah, that would be the third sentence. So it would go in this sequential order. So S1, and then you'll have S. They also eat larvae. So since how you should approach this question is that ants, it is given that ants, what ants eat. And the next, we have a sentence where, which also constricts to ants eating something, right? So that would be the next sentence. This is how you have to approach the chain rule. Chain rule is not only there when it comes to mathematics, but also in English. So just chain the sentences and you'll have the right answers to the question. So as I asked, is there any, we've almost, all right, Doraemon and Nobita time and work question, ma'am. I guess everyone are clear with this problem, I mean this question. So quickly, if you have any doubts, you can of course ask your doubts in the comment section so that I'll be able to clear them. And do remember that there is still time. This is just a blueprint of what we are going to study. We have an extensive quantitative aptitude training session upcoming in the next week. So do attend the upcoming quantitative ability section, the quantitative ability sessions that are going to come the next week, so that you'll have a great idea about how to approach the problems, how to solve questions within a less amount of time. So the Doraemon and Nobita problem, right? All right. So I didn't explain the three-step approach, right? Okay. Okay, Gokul. Let me elaborate the three-step approach to you. I'm not able to write in the screen due to some issues over here. So I just orally explain you the three-step approach. What you have to do in this three-step approach is, see, Doraemon takes 24 days, right? And Nobita takes 72 days. What is the LCM of 24 and 72? The LCM is 72. Sorry. Yes, the LCM is 72. Now quickly divide 24 by 72 and 72 by 72. What do you get? Sorry, quickly divide 72 by 24 and 72 by 72. So Nobita will be able to complete in, so the efficiency would again be 3 is to 1, right? So the total, so together they will be able to complete it in 3 plus 1, 4 parts. Okay, now divide this 4 parts, uh, divide the LCM with the 4 parts. So since I'm not able to explain this with the pen and paper, I mean with the digital board, I think I'm not very clear to you. I'll try to explain to you this way. Wait. So you can see totally there are 4 parts, right? 4 parts. So the LCM of 24 and 72 is 72. Divide this 72 by 4 and you get 18. That is the total, that is the number of days that they have to work to complete the entire work. I guess you are able to understand. Is there any other doubts too? You can post your other doubts regarding the pattern, regarding how you can have to approach the Hexaware questions, the Hexaware sections. If there is any other doubt, please do drop your doubts in the comment section. Of course, our technical team and I am there to help you out. Of course, as I said, students will be having an extensive learning program the coming week. We'll be having many sessions and YouTube sessions, presentation sessions on how you have to approach problems and how easy you can solve problems. The main notion, the major thing that we want to tell to you is that how to approach the problems and solve the questions within 1 minute. That is very important because every problem obviously has a solution. How easily you solve the problems is all that matters. So you should solve all the 20 questions within 20 minutes, and you should have at least a 2 minute spare time to go through and to relax yourself at the end of solving all the questions. That is the approach that you have to follow, not to work out with your pen and paper till the end of 19.59 minutes. That is not the approach that you have to follow when it comes to answering questions in quantitative examinations. So I hope you guys are clear. I guess I have solved Gokul's doubt. So yes, we have almost come to the end of the session. Do subscribe to our ShortClaps channel because you'll be getting a lot of sessions, a lot of ideas, ideologies, and methods in which you have to approach the quantitative aptitude sections. And we are developing an application where a lot of questions are posted and you can learn from the videos, you can answer to a lot of questions, get thorough with all the sections. So do subscribe to our ShortClaps channel for more videos, to get more exposure on approaching an interview or approaching a placement paper. Or if you want to get enhance your skill upon a particular topic in the entire interview and your placement process, do drop that topic in the comment section so that we will work on it. We will reply you. We will create videos on the particular topic that you have said to us. All right. So yes, I guess that's all. If you have any doubts, do post it in the comment section. If we are done, stay safe, keep reading, keep studying, keep rebuilding your skills, and have a great and a useful lockdown in the upcoming. Do not take this lockdown as a negative thing. There is nothing negative to be felt. Everything is for good. Have that approach and keep learning. Yeah. Thank you.